At the last seminar, the computer system that Esther had created, she took a FileMaker program and wrote the system, which makes it possible for you to purchase things and register as you do. And in the middle of the seminar, that computer that Esther set up in 2005 said, "I'm ready to reemerge into non-physical." And so I'll hang on for you as best I can for the rest of this seminar, but after that I'm done, was the message it was giving as it continued to turn itself off and disconnect the network. And so after the seminar, Esther took another computer, and with the help of her computer genius back home, she set the system up again. But this morning, she was expecting a 7 o'clock phone call from Jeannie to let her know that all was well. Even though she didn't feel that it wasn't, she wanted to hear that it was. But the phone call didn't come because there is no telephone reception here. Esther carries every cell phone system known to man, and all of them said no service. So Esther's standing on the chair, hanging out the window, reaching for a bar. Maybe if I can get taller, I can get a bar. And she managed to get a signal off to Jeannie, and Jeannie said, "I left you a message," and then the phone cut out. But Esther could tell by the tone of Jeannie's calm voice that all was well, so Esther looked at her phones, and there were no messages on any phones. And then about an hour later, her phone went, and she looked, and there was the message that had come in at 7:01. So even though the message had been transmitted by a very well-meaning transmitter, it had not been received because there was no vibrational frequency equivalent. In other words, there are all kinds of things that from your place of sifting and sorting, you launch your rockets. You launch your rockets, and they are received, and they are held there for you in the cell phone service in the sky until you get within range. And when you get within range, you'll get your message. But it's up to you to get within range, you see. Because it does not matter how well the signal has been transmitted. It does not matter that all that is, the energy that creates worlds, is tending to your vortex of creation. But you've got to get in the vicinity. It's all up to you. There is not one other who can bring you within range. Oh, we can coax you, and we do. We can tell you about who you really are. We can hold you in conversation. We can wave Esther's arms around and move around and offer words with never-ending stream. We can rope you in to our consensus of thought. We can do everything we can to gain your attention until we have talked you into the vibrational vicinity of who you are, where you get glimpses of what you want. But for you to get into the vortex on a consistent basis, these things are required of you. First, you must accept that you are a source energy being, and that only a small part of that source energy being is represented here in this physical body that you know as you. Next, you must accept that this physical being that is you is of immense importance to all that is, that there is no diminishment by the comparison of you and you. You are important to the whole, and you came for the pleasure of the experience of creating. You came to sift through the contrast, and most of all, to give birth to desire, because that is at the heart of the eternalness of eternity. If you cannot come to a new conclusion, then nothing moves forward. But don't worry, you can't hold it back. It is set up that perfectly. So you launch your rockets, and Source holds them. Next, you must accept that there is a vibrational reality that exists before all physical realities, and that vibrational reality is the forming of your creation in the same way that the vortex of creation formed this galaxy, this planet, this system that you live within. All that you see and all that you know that is physical in nature was born out of an idea that was held by more until over time and in consistency of the idea, it took form and became the reality that you want to call real reality. We want you to come to the place where you can accept that this vibrational reality is not just sort of kind of real in a dream state way, but that it is the reality that is the precursor to all that you've ever known as reality. It's more real than the reality that you look at. When you see someone who is sick, that is not reality. It is a distortion of reality. In other words, when someone is sick, they ask to be well, and that is the bigger reality. When you don't have enough money and you want more, you launch a rocket of desire and your vibrational bank account becomes bigger than ever before. The financial crisis that your world has been focused upon has put more into your vibrational mass consciousness reality than hundreds of years that have gone by. In other words, when billions of people make requests into this vibrational reality, it is something that is real and will have lasting and positive effect on this and future generations. But in order for you to know it in your now, you've got to find a way of closing the gap. So the things that are required of you in order to be the deliberate creator that you've come forth to be, you must accept the vibrational reality, and you must accept that you are a vibrational being, and you must accept that your emotions are your indicator of your vibrational mix, and you must accept that when you feel negative emotion, that negative emotion is an indicator of resistance within you that you and only you can do something about, and that when you have positive emotion, it is an indication of no resistance or little resistance, and that in that alignment you are in the vortex where you will soon have clear sight, and opportunities, circumstances, and events will reveal themselves to you. It is law. It must be. You cannot fail. There is nothing that you cannot be or do or have. Once you've given birth to it and it's in the vortex, all you've got to do is find a way of lining up with it. So even though this workshop is based around the powerful law of attraction, the emphasis that we are offering is about the art of allowing, the art of me in my physical form, figuring out how to allow myself into the vortex where all that I want is. And if I have a chronic habit of thought of complaining or worrying or pushing against or finding fault, if I have chronic habits of thought like that, then I have chronic habits of thought that hold me outside the vortex. And we say, being outside the vortex isn't so awful. Many people hang around outside the vortex pretty much all of their physical life, and they don't really move in a consistent way until they croak. And we just don't think you should have to croak to get in. So through this gathering, you'll say, well, how do I get in? What's the password? What's the combination? And we say, well, since it's your unique vortex, and since you have put everything into it, then you'll be able to feel your resonance or not with it. That's really the key. The key to getting in the vortex is recognizing that the better you feel, the closer you are. And the more often the better you feel, then the more often you're inside. So here's this vortex. Do you accept it? Here's this vortex spinning, and let's say that you are feeling some despair. You are pretty far from the vortex. So even though circumstances and events for all of the things that you've been asking for have already been arranged, you can't see them. Your cell phone's out of range. The message has been given. The clues are there. The path has been carved. It's all ready for you. But you're out of range because you're an ornery toad. And you say, with good reason, this happened, and 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 this happened. And we say, we didn't say that you're not justified in your negative emotion, but we will never say that your negative emotion, no matter what its reason, is justified. In other words, you're justified in the sense that you didn't make it up. But from our point of view, there is no excuse in the world that is big enough to keep you outside of this vortex where everything that you want is. It must just be a misunderstanding. We do not think that you would deliberately hold yourself away from who you are, from all you are, and from all you want. You must just be doing it because you don't know any better, or because you've got habits of thought that are a little hard to break. So This gathering is about figuring out how to change those thoughts and therefore change that vibration and therefore change that relationship and therefore change that emotion and therefore change the way things are manifesting in your experience. Now, we've been a little heavy here because you are powerful in your desire and you're doing extremely well. Look how well things are going. But in order for things to go even better, you've got to make peace with how things are already going. Seems like a backwards approach. When we say to someone who doesn't have something they want, well, you just have to make peace with it. They worry. They say, if I make peace with it, won't the universe say, oh, she's happy with that. Don't bother going to work for her. We say, it doesn't work like that at all. When you make peace with it, you stop resistance. When you let go of the struggle, you soften resistance. Anything that makes you feel better allows you to be swept into the vortex more easily. Well, now you know everything we know that matters. There is nothing more that we could tell you that is of importance. Now you just have to practice getting in the vortex. Esther has been in and out of the vortex, more in than out, almost all of her life. And recently figured out how to get in there on purpose. And as she began to stay in there more consistently, in other words, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, she began announcing to Jerry, I'm never coming out. I'm never coming out. Because just the elation of life, the way she felt, the clarity of her mind, her response to the world, the way the world looked, the way the world was responding to her. Why would anybody ever want to be out of the vortex? And then something happened, out she was. She was really irritated about being out. But then she remembered how easy it was to get back in. She developed this sort of regimen where she would lay in her bed every night before she would go to sleep and make lists in her mind of things that she appreciated. And in the morning when she would awaken, she would lie there and find those things again. And then as soon as she would get up, she would go to a chair with Jerry and she would begin doing a focus wheel to clean up any ragtail vibration that she had discovered in the last 24 hours where she recognized that there was some vibrational work to do because she had had a little piece of negative emotion about something. And once the negative emotion was activated because of her attention to it and then released or deactivated because of the focus wheel process that she was doing, she would go into rampages of appreciation and long lists of positive aspects. And the whole process took about an hour a day, 15 minutes before she went to bed, 15 minutes when she woke up, and then about a half an hour of processes. And she discovered that she could stay pretty consistently in the vortex. And that is what we wish for you. Now, if you're not in the vortex and you've got some negative emotion, which is your indicator of resistance, and you don't know it, don't worry, it will get bigger. And if you still don't notice it, don't worry, it will get bigger. Because everything that you are living at all times, every manifestation that surrounds you is an in-the-moment indication of the vibrational relationship between you and you. We're not kidding you. There is nothing that happens to you that is because of something else. The traffic you're in is because of this relationship. The way the waiter treats you is because of this vibrational relationship. The way the economy treats you is because of this relationship. Everything that you are living is an indicator of your vibration. Don't you love that? Don't you love knowing that if your body has some symptom or some diagnosis has been assigned, all it is an indicator of your vibrational relationship between who you've become and who you're letting yourself be. That's all that it is. So it would not matter what the diagnosis is that has been given to you. It's only an indicator of a vibration that you can change. So during this gathering, we want to show you how, regardless of what the reality is, you can change the vibration. And when you change the vibration, the reality has to change. You are invincible. There is nothing that you cannot be or do or have. You just got to know the rules of the game. You got to understand law of attraction. You've got to know what your emotions are telling you, and you got to want to get in the vortex. We've enjoyed this interaction. It has been a wonderful day. We have taken thought beyond that which it has been before, and we've accomplished our greatest intent in that we have alerted you to the existence of your vibrational reality. Now, you've known about it before, but you've never known about it this clearly before. And you've never known that this vortex this creative vortex, this vibrational reality was spinning and gathering, collecting all cooperative components. And never before have you been so keenly alert to where you are in relationship to this cooperative gathering.